Welcome to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25 Media. We feature top founders, executives, and business leaders from all over the world.
Chad Franzen here, co-host of the Top Business Leaders Show, where we feature CEOs, entrepreneurs, and top leaders in the business world. This episode is brought to you by Rise 25. We help B2B businesses launch and reach their dream relationships by starting their own podcast. We connect more clients, referrals, and strategic partnerships and get ROI through done-for-you podcasts. If you have a B2B business and want to build great relationships, there's no better way to do it than to profile the companies and people you admire on your podcast. To learn more, go to rise25.com or email us at support@rise25.com. Wayne Kimmel is managing partner of 76 Capital. 76 Capital. He is a sports tech venture capitalist, entrepreneur, author, and podcast host. In 1999, he founded 76 Capital, a venture capital company which invests in startup sports betting, esports, and sports tech companies. The Sports Business Journal named Kimmel a sports tech power player in 2022 and was also awarded the 2022 Most Admired CEO Award from the Philadelphia Business Journal. Hey, Wayne, thanks so much for joining me today. How are you?
I really appreciate you having me on your show, Chad. This is awesome.
Yeah, great. Hey, great to have you. So tell me a little bit more about 76 Capital. I'm a pretty big sports guy, so I'm pretty fascinated by it. Tell me about what you guys do.
Well, at 76 Capital, my partners and I, we are investors in the entrepreneurs who are doing the next thing in the sports industry. And what we mean by that is entrepreneurs that are looking to build innovative sports tech businesses, really looking to take the sports betting industry to the next level, thinking about how gaming and esports and really looking to do the next thing across all these different areas. And what we do at 76 is we invest in the entrepreneurs. We want to help them and back them and really do anything we can to help them be successful.
Yeah, it's been around for, as I mentioned, you founded it in 1999. So it's been, almost a quarter century now. How did the idea come about?
For me, I had just gotten out of law school in the late 90s. And I had a number of friends that were getting involved in this internet thing. And they were creating these amazing new types of businesses. And as I was going to work in a suit and tie, they were going to work in jeans and T-shirts. And they were telling the suits on Wall Street and all the big banks and all the media companies like what to do. And I said, wow, that's crazy. I would go and I'd go to see them at their offices and see what they were doing. And I'm like, wow, it was just such an exciting time. They were doing such amazing things. And they invited me to a number of different events. And I used to go to these events with them. And there were always crowds of people surrounding this one kind of individual. And I'm always like, why are those people all trying to talk to that person? And then someone said to me, oh, that's a venture capitalist, or that's an angel investor. And I said, what is that? Like, what does it even mean? He said, well, they're the people who make our hopes, our dreams come true. And I was like, wow, those are people who make your dreams come true. Like, how do they do that? He said, they're the ones who invest in our businesses and then really help us build our businesses. And I said, you know what? I'd love to be one of those people someday. And, fast forward, I went out and at 29 raised my first $20 million venture capital fund from all these different, high net worth individuals and people that I networked with and to meet, and built a business and built 76 Capital. And we were investors initially in consumer tech companies, in health tech companies, and companies like Seamless Web, which is now Grubhub. We were one of the first online food ordering companies. It was amazing to watch that. We were investors in Take Care Health Systems, which are the healthcare clinics that you see inside of Walgreens today. So if you walk into a Walgreens and get checked out by a nurse or a nurse practitioner inside of a Walgreens, that was our company that we were investors in.
Wow, amazing. So how did you go about raising that money, when you were pretty young?
It's interesting. You mentioned earlier, I'm an author. So I wrote a book a couple of years ago called 6 Degrees of Wayne Kimmel to really tell my story of how, as a 20-something-year-old, I was able to go out and network and meet people and and found the people that would invest in me and believe in me that I could go out and then find the entrepreneurs to then go invest in to go make money so that I could pay my investors back and get them a nice return. And it was, I'll tell you, Chad, it was a lot around, just kind of tried and true networking, meeting people, trying to find people that were interested in getting involved in the startup world. And I found them. I found the people, and I talk about it in my book. I talk about all the different stories and strategies and tips and tricks on how I did that and how I continue to do that every day. I think that's one of the things that, one of the reasons I love your show and I love what you do, for so many people, because it's all about, going out there and making contacts, as many as you can every single day, and trying to take those contacts and turn them into relationships. And you can do that in person. You can do that online. You can do that in so many different ways today. And look, when I was first doing this back in the late 90s, a lot of the information we would try to find was we had to go read the newspaper. We had to go try to find, where are them, some of the most important business leaders and where are they going to be and what are they doing? And that information was in, paper business journals or newspapers or things like that. But now, you can do a lot of that online as well today.
Was it always geared towards sports, even when you first started, or esports? Well, obviously, esports probably weren't even a thing in 1999.
So it was really about the next thing at the time. So it was consumer tech, health tech, thinking, different types of companies on the internet side of the industry. We switched to the world of sports about 7 years ago, and so decided to focus solely on sports because sports was one of those industries that had not been disrupted by tech, by data and analytics. A lot of the other industries you see in the financial services world, technology's everywhere in it. The healthcare world, technology's in it everywhere. But from a sports perspective, it hadn't happened yet. So it hadn't been disrupted. So, when I say we, it's my partners, Chad Stender, John Powell, and I, we really looked at this and said, wait a second, this is amazing. Here's an industry that we have a lot of relationships in. We love the world of sports, and we see that tech and data and analytics is not really being used on the field, in the front office, around fan engagement, certainly not in the world of gaming and sports betting. There's an opportunity to really do something special here and back those entrepreneurs. So we went all in into sports, and it's really been amazing. And have had some great entrepreneurs we've invested in, sold some really exciting companies, and are building some of the leading companies across the sports industry today.
Yeah. What are some, 24 years is a long time. What are some milestones that maybe stand out to you that you're proud of, or that are particularly memorable?
I think, going back to 1999 and early 2000 and raising the first fund was a big deal. And that was really exciting. And having capital, we had a downturn in the market, the internet bust, as a lot of people called it, happened in March of 2000. We had raised $20 million. We had fresh capital to back entrepreneurs during a down market. That was huge. Then building a company like Seamless Web, which, you still can walk around the city and, it's like walk around New York City and you still see stickers of Seamless Web. Now they've gotten rid of the web and they call it Seamless, but, it's Seamless and it's now owned by Grubhub. That was one of the things, building that business with Jason Finger and Paul Applebaum and, seeing the first ever online food order come through. And that was just amazing to see. The idea of putting healthcare clinics inside of pharmacies, that was revolutionary for our country. To be, you would walk into a pharmacy and get checked out. I mean, I had, people were like, what, are you kidding me? Like, why would you ever do that? Right. That doesn't make any sense. Like, you go into the pharmacy after you see the doctor to get your drugs and then walk out with some gum or some candy. But like, that's what you do in there. You don't get checked out there. But, we created this convenient care model, which Minute Clinic got bought by CVS, and our company that we invested in, Take Care, got bought by Walgreens. So that was really huge. And then, this whole shift into sports, that was such a big deal for us. And then, one of the companies that we recently sold was a company called VSiN. VSiN, the Vegas Stats and Information Network, is the full name, but it was a company that was started by Brent Musburger and his nephew Brian. And Brian and Brent started this company to say they were going to create a 24-hour sports betting media network, just like how CNBC is what CNBC is to the financial markets. VSiN was going to be to the sports betting markets. And we built that business with them. We built this 24-hour sports betting media network. We invested in it. I sat on the board of it. We helped them build it in Las Vegas. It was an incredible journey. And about a year and a half ago, DraftKings bought that company from us.
Wow. Awesome. So when you're, I'm curious, when you're considering now who to invest in, is there certain criteria that kind of stands above the rest when you're making your decisions?
Absolutely, Chad. It's a great question. It's one of the things that's such a core part of what we're all about at 76 Capital is the kind of people we invest in. We're very, very it's just such an important thing to think about, the kind of person. So we describe it as we're always looking for entrepreneurs that are smart, that are nice, and that want to change the world and really do something in a big way and change, and just literally a game-changing business. And the one word that we just focus on in such a big way is the word nice. We want to find people that we can work with, that we can help, that they want our help, and that there's actually something that we can do to move that business forward a lot more than just the capital we invest. So that's a big deal for us. And we also want to make sure that the entrepreneur is somebody that we want to get their phone call. We want to get their text message. We want them to communicate with us on Slack all the time, right? We want these types of people that we enjoy being around, because the thing about investing in startups, whether it's a consumer tech company, whether it's a health tech company, whether it's a sports related business, these businesses take time to grow. You don't just put your money into a startup and then you're going to the New York Stock Exchange and ringing the bell within 12 months. That's not how it works. It takes time. It's 12 months, and then it's another 12, and then it's another 12, and it's another 12. It takes time. So you may be partnered with, and many times married to, entrepreneurs for 5, 6, 7, 8+ years that you're going to spend time with them. You're going to get to know them. You're going to get to know, when they get their first boyfriend or girlfriend, when they're getting married, when they have their first kid. Like, there are all these major milestones across their lives, as well as your own, that you'll be sharing with. You'll be spending a lot of time with them. You'll be in a position where you'll have a full day and it's 11 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden, your cell phone rings and it's like, oh my God, it's one of our CEOs. But it better be someone that you like for you to want to pick up that phone when you're finally seeing your spouse and your kids when you're trying to go to sleep. But like, hey, this guy is on the West Coast. It's only 8 o'clock out there, and they need help, or they need something from you. And we want to be in a position to want to help, not just it's our duty. It's because we really like these people.
So take me through the process of how these relationships kind of come about. Do they, you guys, I'm sure are pretty well known in that world. Are people calling you? Are you out looking for potential investees? How does that work?
Well, across the whole 76 Capital network, whether it's our investment arm, our sports advisory business, our media business, as we're constantly trying to market and to try to find the next great sports entrepreneur. So we're constantly going out there, and that's everything from doing shows like yours, Chad, going out and running conferences. We have our This Week in Sports Business, which is our weekly newsletter that we talk about all the different, things that are going on across the sports industry. We have our 76 Capital Sports Leadership Show, which is our podcast and our video show where we interview entrepreneurs, athletes, and executives on who are literally creating and many times doing the next thing in the world of sports, whether we're investors in their company or not. We love to promote and try to be in the conversation. So we're constantly trying to put ourselves out there to be able to attract and connect with and find the next great sports entrepreneur. We go to lots of events. And not only just in the United States, all over the world. I mean, this is not something that's just US. We have investments all around the world. We are looking for entrepreneurs that are really looking at the sports industry on a global scale. So this is something that we really, it's such a great question. I mean, it's something that we spend so much time on because we really do want to find and identify people that may never have heard of 76 Capital, may never have heard of Wayne Kimmel, may never have heard of what we're doing. But then when they're like, well, we've been looking for something like this. We've been trying to find an investor to help us move our business forward. We've been trying to find an advisor on our sports advisory business where we work with teams and leagues and brands and family offices and helping them basically understand all the new things that are coming down the pike in the sports industry. Because just like every other industry, the sports industry is changing. It's taking in and it's starting to use technology at a whole nother level. It's using data and analytics to make the business better, not only just to make your team better on the court or on the field or on the pitch, but it's all about being able to, also how do you engage your fans? How do you make, how do you build your brand as a team and as a league? So we're able to help on that side of the world. And so we try, as much as we can to be out there and to be a really big part of the overall sports, overall ecosystem. And we love bringing together that industry. We do lots of meetups in different spots around the country where we just bring together the community, and it's pretty magical to see when you bring all different types of people together, and we try to, and if it helps us, that's great. But if it helps the overall sports industry, it's even better.
Sure. Is there in the course of investing, not only investing in these companies, but working with them, is there maybe a lesson that you have learned along the way that, I don't know, maybe you wish you had known 10 years ago or 20 years ago?
Well, I think, one of the big things that I talk about a lot is just, you got to just go make it happen. Like, you just got to get out there and try to make things happen. And I think that's the one thing you constantly have to think about. You can read all you want. You can scour every type of social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and you think you know everything about a person, a company, until you actually meet that person. You could even Zoom with that person, right? I mean, you think you know everything about them and you know what they want and what they're looking for and what types of companies they're involved with. But until you really spend some time with somebody in person, it's amazing what you can learn in those situations. And so we try as a team here at 76 Capital to be out there, to be in the mix, meeting people and learning about things that, I mean, you just may not know. I mean, it looks exactly as if this company is going in one direction and this is all they're thinking about. But in their own private meetings and everything that they're doing, they're actually thinking about it completely different. They just haven't told anybody yet. They haven't told the world yet. And that's where we want to be. We want to be in that area where we're doing something and that's why I always use this term, the next thing, right? So we want to know we want to look out and think about that. And to do that, many times it's really about spending time with people and getting a chance to see if and learn a lot more than what you can just see that's on the surface.
I only have a couple more questions for you. Is there anything they have going on? I mean, you're very enthusiastic about what you do. Is there anything you have going on that you're particularly excited about right now?
Well, for us right now, we have some amazing companies in the sports betting industry, and we think that the world of sports and the world of casino gaming and sports betting have really come together, and they've converged in this in an amazing way. And we've made investments across the technology side of that industry, the data, the analytics, the media side of it, the compliance side of it, the integrity side of the industry, the customization and personalization side of sports betting. I mean, there's so many opportunities across that industry. There's so many opportunities for young people, or just quite frankly, anybody that understands sports as well as understands the world of sports betting, to come together and really help connect those two worlds. That's something that we find is really exciting. We have incredible companies like US Integrity and Odds On Compliance and Epoxy across this industry. We've as I mentioned earlier, selling VSiN and Victory, and Victory we sold to Fubo TV. That was an amazing technology platform that we were behind. So like these types of companies that are really changing the way people are not only just interacting with sports books, but also the infrastructure side of the industry is incredible. And then you think about augmented reality and how that's being used in the world of sports. We have an amazing company called Quintar, which is the official augmented reality provider for the PGA Tour. They work with the G League and the NBA, and doing some amazing things with AT&T around that. So loving what they're doing there. You think about how much AI is being used across many of the companies we're invested in. We have incredible fitness technology companies. And, another big thing that we really believe here, and part of our thesis here at 76 Capital, is that every bat, every ball, every stick, every racket is going to be smart in the future. And and that's through embedding technology inside of the actual physical products, as well as the use of different types of cameras and vision systems and things like that are out there today, which is going to make the game even better, make all the sports even better. We have an amazing company that works. It's an official partner with Major League Baseball called Diamond Kinetics. They have an incredible products across baseball and softball. Love what they're doing, and just it's just so exciting to see the imagination, the creativity of entrepreneurs who are truly innovating the world of sports. And we want to get behind them all. We want to learn more. We want to have even more, investments across many of these companies. And there's so much to do. There's such an opportunity for entrepreneurs in sports. And, it's something that we're so excited. I mean, we've gotten to the point now where we're seeing, close to 170 new business plans and ideas a month.
Wow.
That are just coming our way. And we want more. We want to get over 200. We want to get over 300. We want to see all these opportunities so that we can, help and invest in and back these entrepreneurs who are doing incredible things in sports.
I have one more question for you, but first, tell me how people can find out more about 76 Capital, about your podcast, your book, anything.
Yeah, thank you. You can find out a lot about us all over the internet. I mean, 76 Capital is probably the best way on our website to find out everything about us. And you can find out about me, Wayne Kimmel. You just search me, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter. At Wayne Kimmel is where you can find me, and you can find more about my book, which is 6 Degrees of Wayne Kimmel, there as well. But just for us, it's and subscribe to our newsletter, our weekly newsletter, This Week in Sports Business. If this is an area that you want to learn about, if this is an area that you want to potentially work in, because we have an area, a section in there with really exciting jobs, that are, many of the companies in the sports industry, as we were saying earlier, are looking for talented people. whether it's a technology side of the business, whether it's, understanding the sports betting side of things. There's lots and lots of opportunities. And it's pretty cool to work in a company when, part of what you do is you have to watch games, right? You have to understand the sports world. So it's a lot of fun if you're a sports fan to be in this industry. And every single day there are more and more jobs. The sports books themselves are all looking for talented people that understand the world of sports betting and understand sports. So there's a lot happening out there, and just we're excited to help people. So find us at 76 Capital, find me at Wayne Kimmel, reach out. We're happy to connect you and come to some of our events as well. I mean, we're going to have we're having all over the country.
Hey, last question for you. You mentioned you went to law school. What was your goal when you first started law school? What did you want to be?
Well, my whole life, I was supposed to be a lawyer and follow in the footsteps of my dad. That was the whole plan. So I've kind of I laid out everything I was going to do. If I wasn't going to be a professional athlete, which that didn't work out. So for me, it was always to go and take over my dad's law firm. That was the plan. But for the fact of these crazy entrepreneurs in the world of tech in the late 90s, I would have just gone and practiced with him. My brother did, who's younger than me. Larry took over my dad's law firm, and he's doing a heck of a job doing that. But for me, I just couldn't get away from this, the idea of really going out there and working with entrepreneurs and helping build businesses. And it's amazing. It's something, again, as I tell everybody, I mean, you got to follow your passion. You got to follow what you're really excited about, and something that makes you want to jump out of bed every day. That's something that's amazing. It's what, I feel so lucky, that, going to work is not even work, right? It's just what we do. It's what we love. It's what we love to do. It's amazing to go and work in an industry that we love, work around entrepreneurs that have just such amazing ideas, that are so smart, that are such good people, that we just enjoy being around. So we're just so lucky to do that. And, again, it's going to work is going to games. I mean, like, that just almost doesn't even make sense. But we're lucky to do that. And as I say, it's not something that is this closed wall world. This industry, the sports world, is looking for so much talent right now. We're looking for people. There's, the teams, the leagues, the tech companies, everybody's looking for talented people to come in and be part of this, because the sports industry over the last several years has truly become an asset class, just like any other asset class that's out there, whether it's the financial services industry, whether it's healthcare. It's an asset class. It's a major growing asset class. The money that's coming into the world of sports is unbelievable. You see the values of these sports franchises are just in the billions today. The numbers have gone up incredibly. The amount of money that people are betting on sports, $220 billion has been bet legally in the sports industry in the last 5 years. We're only 5 years into the legal sports industry. So there's this whole legal sports betting industry is in its infancy right now. So there's really, really great opportunities to work, to innovate, to be a leader right now. I mean, we're just getting going. So I love to see and hear, the new ideas that are coming into this industry, and we're all, everyone's kind of open arms, waiting for the next great thing, and we're excited to be part of that.
Yeah, very exciting. That's awesome. Hey, Wayne, it's been great to talk to you. Thanks so much. Really appreciate your time and all of your insights today. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Chad.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25. Visit rise25.com to check out more episodes of the show and to learn more about how you can start your own podcast.